Farming in the Mountains, Max Level Jiaojiao is 3 years old. Chapter 1, dressed as a 3.5-year-old baby girl. Chapter 1 Dressed as a 3.5-year-old baby girl. Near noon, Bailu village, Boss Zhang's house. At this moment, his whole family knelt on the ground, all trembling in pain, but no one dared to make a sound. And on the bench in front of them sat a baby girl. The baby girl looks like 3 or 4 years old, dressed in coarse clothes, but the exposed skin is white and tender. Especially that face, which is carved from pink and jade. Even a very rich and noble family may not be able to raise such a watery female doll. Press it. The baby girl's immature and somewhat cold voice sounded. The next moment, a piece of paper in her hand was thrown in front of everyone. The people who were kneeling on the ground finally dared to make a noise, and immediately went crazy, for fear that they would all come up one step later, and they all pressed their fingerprints on the paper. Immediately, they all knelt down obediently. Only the extremely burly farmer Jiang Boss, who was kneeling at the front, picked up the paper that had already been drawn on the ground, and handed it to the girl, shaking like a sieve, but he didn't dare to look at the girl. Obviously afraid that the baby girl is not afraid. The baby girl didn't see that he was scared, just took the paper with one hand, glanced at it lightly, and folded the paper and put it in her arms. Okay, Jiang Yu, will have nothing to do with you in the future. Let's go. Baby girl, that is Jiang Yu. After saying this, she grabbed the small bag on the table and jumped off the bench neatly. Everyone who was still kneeling on the ground trembled in horror. Is like seeing a ghost. Jiang Yu didn't care about their fear of treating her like a ghost. Now that the marriage contract has been broken, she should leave. She didn't want to stay in these scumbag places for a moment. Mr. Jiang is at the end of the village, and coming out of Mr. Jiang is actually no different from leaving Bailu village. Jiang Yu stopped and looked up. There are large paddy fields, the rice is taller than chopsticks, and there is a vast expanse of green. At the end of the field, there is a continuous green hill, there is a long green water winding next to it, which is extremely full of vitality. Compared with the apocalypse where only ruins were left by zombies and there was no greenery at all, she actually liked it quite a bit. Of course, it would be better if she wore it on an adult, not a 3.5-year-old girl. Thinking of this, Jiang Yu sighed silently. She wore it last night. As the supreme commander of District A in the end of the world, she finally led the people in District A to destroy all the zombies. As a result, before she could rebuild her home, she died of overwork and entered this history. Ancient Times, which did not exist at all, became a female doll. The original owner is also called Jiang Yu. Because she is the only child in the family, she is usually spoiled at home like a baby. Unfortunately, the good times did not last long. Mother also died. But before the original owner died, she entrusted the original owner to her only relative, the uncle of the original owner, who was the eldest Jiang. Thinks that no matter how bad Boss Jiang is, he is also the uncle of the original owner, a relative, and should be able to raise the original owner well. The original mistress died because she was not in good health all the time. Before she died, she took a lot of medicine and it didn't seem to get better, and all the money in the family was spent. In fact, Boss Jiang was not willing to take care of the original owner in vain and raise the original owner. But Boss Jiang thought that he could sell the original owner for some money. If the original owner had been raised by someone else, the original owner was someone else's family, wouldn't he not be able to sell it? End of this chapter. Farming in the Mountains, Max Level Jiaojiao is 3 years old. Chapter 2, Shui Yan. Chapter 2 Shui Yan. So, Boss Jiang agreed. Then, as soon as the original owner died, the Jiang Boss family was ready to sell the original owner. All the teeth have been found and the price has been negotiated. Just as Boss Jiang's family happily prepared to send the original owner away and then brought the money back, the original owner caught the cold because he had not been properly taken care of by the Boss Jiang's family. It is getting more and more serious, and the buyer looks like he is dying, then the buyer is naturally reluctant to spend money on it. Boss Jiang's family wanted to wait for the original owner to recover before selling it, but they were reluctant to pay for the original owner's treatment, so they let the original owner hold on. And the original owner didn't survive, and was gone last night. This body opened her eyes again, she was wearing it. Such a scumbag relative, of course, must be cut clean. She only looks small now, but in the end times, her body's flexibility, strength, and responsiveness have all come together, and it's more than enough to clean up those scumbags. One Piece, and her space. The zombies have made the apocalypse smoky, the fittest survives, and all human beings who can survive have evolved to a certain extent, and she is no exception. It's just that while she has evolved all aspects of her body functions, she also got a seed space. The space is full of seeds, all kinds of seeds, and there is also a universal nursery room, which can help all kinds of seeds germinate in one day and become strong seedlings. But at the end of the world, zombies were rampant, and everything would be destroyed. She didn't use this space at that time. The original plan was to kill the zombies and use it when rebuilding the home, but it's a pity. However, there are many strong men in the last days, and there are also a large number of seeds of various kinds just in case. It will not be impossible to rebuild the home because of her. Looking at the continuous mountain at the end of the rice field, Jiang Yuekai went up to the Tianba and walked towards the mountain. She has not seen such a beautiful nature for many years. There is no greenery in the last days, and the forests have been destroyed into wasteland. Now she naturally wants to live in the mountains for 2 days and feel the feeling. Maybe she can grow things in the mountains, she has space, she can raise seedlings and plant them, she can also hunt, in short, she will not starve to death. As for the future, her body is only 3.5 years old, and the future is still growing. Thinking about it later, she is not in a hurry. Jiang Yu walked towards the mountain step by step. In the rice fields on both sides of the Tianba, there are farmers pulling barnyard grass, which looks like rice. It may be that these farmers are so focused on pulling the barnyard grass that no one notices her. Until she came to the foot of the mountain, she saw on the way down the mountain, a peasant man in his 40s, wearing a sackcloth and a hunchback, came down with a heavy load of firewood. In the memory of the original owner, there is this person, Shui Dafu from the next village. The original owner used to go up the mountain with his mother to fight firewood. I have met this person many times. This person has a very good heart. Played firewood several times. Xiaoyan, you really think about it, don't go to the town to study anymore. Shui Dafu carried the firewood down the mountain, and turned to talk to the young son behind him. Also because of his turning back, he hasn't seen Jiang Yu yet. Hearing this, Jiang Yu realized that there was a gentle and thin boy behind Shui Dafu. The boy was struggling to carry a small bundle of firewood on his back. He didn't wear anything like a peasant child. He was wearing a white long gown with not very good fabrics. He should really be a reader. In addition, Shui Dafu called him Xiaoyan again. Almost instantly, Jiang Yu realized that this should be Shui Dafu's 7-year-old son Shui Yan. End of this chapter. Farming in the mountains, max level Jiaojiao is 3 years old. Chapter 3, I also want to grow crops at home. Chapter 3 I also want to grow crops at home. Is actually not his own son, Shui Yan was picked up by Shui Dafu. But Shui Yan has never been forgotten since he was a child. He is a famous child prodigy in Shirley Ba village. Everyone in Shui Dafu's family knows that in Shirley Ba village, because of Shui Yan. Shui Yan was sent to the town to study at the age of 4, and he did not return home several times throughout the year. The name Yan was chosen for him by the gentleman in the town. The original owner and Shui Yan have never met. No. Shui Yan's voice was a little low. He lowered his eyes, looked at the ground, and supported the small bundle of firewood on his back. After a while, the voice became even lower. Dad, I also want to grow crops at home. What's so good about facing the lus and turning your back to the sky? Sigh. Shui Dafu sighed heavily. I really don't understand why you suddenly stopped studying. You have such a good mind, who wouldn't say you're smart? Which gentleman doesn't praise you, saying that you will definitely have great prospects in the future? Forget it, you're not happy for forcing you to go, your mother and I also look uncomfortable, so let's do it, don't go if you don't go. Thank you, Dad. Shui Yan finally raised his eyes, and his eyes suddenly followed Jiang Yu, who was looking at them at the foot of the mountain. Shui Yan was slightly surprised. Whose baby girl is this? She is so beautifully carved. Jiang Yu just silently stepped aside and let them go first. It was also at this time that Xue Dafu also saw Jiang Yu. Yue Bao, why are you here alone? Xue Dafu hurriedly put down the firewood on his shoulders, walked to Jiang Yu in a few big strides, and squatted in front of Jiang Yu and asked. The moment he squatted down, his line of sight was level with Jiang Yu. I want to go up the mountain. Jiang Yu said calmly. What are you doing on the mountain? Xue Dafu was puzzled. What about your uncle and auntie? How can you be assured that you are going out alone? How do their families take care of you? You are only a little older. Jiang Yu, the uncle's family is going to sell me. I don't want to be sold, so I came out. I'm going to the mountain and live alone. After she finished speaking, she also lifted the small bag in her hand and motioned to Xue Dafu to look at it. Only then did Xue Dafu see the small burden in her hand, and immediately became indignant. You bastards. Your mother entrusted them to take care of you, and they treat you like this. You child, you think of living alone in the mountains? What a child, you are still so young, how can you live alone? We adults do not dare to spend the night in the mountain, let's go back with the uncle, and the uncle will seek justice for you. Said, Xue Dafu wanted to lead Jiang Yu back. But Jiang Yu avoided his big hand, and her eyes like hay grape were all firm. I don't go back, the uncle's family are not good people. Paused, and her tone softened a little. Uncle, leave me alone, I won't go back to my uncle's house anyway, so you should just pretend you didn't see me. Thank you. After, Jiang Yu wanted to bypass Xue Dafu and Xue Yan and continue up the mountain. Xue Yan, just like her, silently gave way and let her pass. Jiang Yue raised her eyebrows, but she didn't expect Xue Yan to be so cooperative and calm. Not at all like a 7-year-old. But she didn't think too much, so people walked past Xue Yan. How can this be done? You are a child, this is no adult, no matter where you are, you can't survive. Xue Dafu quickly stopped him. It's better than this, Xue Dafu began to persuade. If you don't want to go back to your uncle's house, then go back to your uncle's house. You will live in your uncle's house in the future, and the uncle's family will take care of you like a family member, okay? End of this chapter. Farming in the Mountains, Max level Jiaojiao is 3 years old. Chapter 4, What's the matter with Xue Yan? Why does he seem to know something? Chapter 4 What's going on with Xue Yan, why does he seem to know something? This is the first time someone has shown kindness to her. Jiang Yu's heart is warm, but she shakes her head. No, uncle, your family is not rich, so I won't drag you down. Drag? Such a young child has become so sensible, do you know it's a drag? Xue Yan's eyes narrowed slightly. What is not a drag, just eat more with one mouth. Xue Dafu said immediately. Why don't you go back with the uncle, what's the matter, the uncle's conscience is still restless for the rest of his life. Let's walk around, just to make the uncle feel at ease, go back with the uncle. Xue Dafu, like a duck, bent over and kept pushing her back with 2 big hands. Jiang Yu. Xiaoyan, Xue Dafu continued to push back and shouted to Xue Yan, what are you doing standing there, come and take your sister back, don't ask for your firewood, just take your sister, this Jinbai it's not easy to walk, you can't lead your sister with firewood on your back. Are there more than one sisters? Xue Yan was helpless and knew her father's personality well, but she didn't put down the firewood, but came over with firewood on her back, and she didn't rush to lead Jiang Yu, but calmly asked, Father, who is Yuebao originally? Of? Xue Dafu replied without thinking, you haven't seen Jiang Lao's house in the next village, but I and your mother have met a lot. Xue Yan was stunned. In the last life, didn't Zhang's second daughter-in-law die from illness immediately after the death of Zhang's second wife, who is standing here now? Involuntarily, Xue Yan looked at Jiang Yu, her eyes narrowed slightly. Jiang Yu frowned. What's going on with Xue Yan? Why does he seem to know something? Xue Yan didn't see her frowning, she calmly retracted her gaze, and said to his father in a hurry, then her uncle is Boss Jiang, I heard that Boss Jiang is not a good friend, and there is no one in the family. Okay, if you want to bring her home, it's best for her to break up with the other side first, get the severance contract, once and for all. Jiang Yu fell into contemplation. This is so thoughtful, is it really a 7-year-old child? Some adults may not be so thoughtful. A child prodigy is a child prodigy. Or, just like her. The soul inside is actually an adult. By the way, didn't this person suddenly stop going to the town to study? It's very possible. Shui Yan knew that Jiang Yu was looking at him and that Jiang Yu felt that something was wrong with him, but he didn't look at Jiang Yu and let Jiang Yu watch. Severing the relationship. Shui Dafu was in trouble. Of course it's good to have this, but how could Boss Jiang be willing to cut off the relationship with Yue Bao? Here. Jiang Yu suddenly took out a piece of paper from her arms and handed it to Shui Yan, who was literate. Shui Yan didn't take it, just asked, "What?" Jiang Yu, cut off the relationship. Shui Yan was startled. Immediately, I probably have a number in my heart. This person may also be born again. In short, it is by no means the original Jiang Yu. Shui Yan couldn't help but feel that everyone was walking all the way, so he looked at Jiang Yu in front of him again. Jiang Yu let Shui Yan watch. Fearless. She figured it out, she couldn't live in the mountains all her life, she might as well take this opportunity to go home with a good man like Shui Dafu. And she will repay Shui Dafu well in the future. Breaking the marriage contract. Great. Shui Dafu snatched it over and couldn't help but be overjoyed. That's great. Yue Bao, why do you have this thing? His eyes were still fixed on the divorce contract, even if he didn't know a word of it. Jiang Yu, I asked my uncle to give me this thing, and my uncle gave it to me. End of this chapter. Farming in the Mountains, Max level Jiaojiao is 3 years old. Chapter 5, He's Really Reborn. Chapter 5 He is Really Reborn. Shui Dafu, when did your uncle become so good, didn't he want to sell you? Father, Shui Yan finally withdrew his gaze, and cut off his father's words calmly, let's go back quickly, mother just called for dinner. Hearing the words, Jiang Yu's heart became clear. This was because he didn't want his father to find out that something was wrong with her. The two looked at each other, and both saw the tacit understanding in each other's eyes. Yes, Shui Dafu was successfully distracted, it's time for lunch, Yue Bao, are you hungry too? Hurry up, let's go back, this is breaking the relationship, little Yan, let me keep it for you, Dad has never been good at keeping things, why are you half a little adult, you are usually stable and your brain is good, you will definitely be able to help your sister keep it. Shui Dafu gave Shui Yan the deed of divorce. Shui Yan took advantage of his father's inattentiveness and went to pick up the heavy load of firewood, handed the deed of separation to Jiang Yu, and said 2 words in a low voice, keep it well. Jiang Yu also had the feeling of being a traveler, nodded, well. Shui Yan stretched out a hand. The 7-year-old child's hand was not big, but it was bigger than Jiang Yu's. He wanted to help Jiang Yu carry the burden in his hand. Jiang Yu, this is not heavy. Shui Yan withdrew his hand. Shui Yan let Jiang Yu go ahead. Jiang Yu said, it's better for you to go forward, and I'll help you with the firewood from behind. She saw that his back was very difficult, but he refused to let it go. She wanted to help him. Hearing this, Shui Yan glanced at her hand and made it clear that she thought that her hand was smaller than his, and she was smaller than his, so she should not be able to help him. Jiang Yu didn't say a word, but put her unpacked hand on the firewood on Shui Yan's back, and then lifted it up. Shui Yan only felt light on his back. The weight of a small bundle of firewood seems to have been reduced by more than half. Shui Yan was silent for a moment. Since she's all the way, why is she so strong? Shui Dafu, who was carrying a burden and walked in the front, turned around and saw that not only Shui Yan was not holding Jiang Yu, but the 2 children were still there. He immediately opened a loud voice, Xiao Yan, what are you doing, take Yue Bao back quickly, I've said it several times, let's eat at home, let you stop asking for that wood. Shui Yan was helpless. Let me hold you. Shui Yan still didn't put down the firewood, but pulled her hand off the firewood and held it in her hand. I can walk a good road. Jiang Yu reminded. She didn't believe he couldn't see it. I know. Shui Yan was even more helpless. Just let my father rest assured. He motioned her to look at Shui Dafu in front of her. Sure enough, Xue Dafu turned back uneasy. Jiang Yu was helpless too, and then her head drooped down, and she said weakly, "Let's go. This dam leads to the mountain. It is not easy to walk and return, but it is slightly wider than other dams, and the two children walk side by side, but it is not crowded." It was just that Xue Yan used one hand to hold her, and it was even more difficult to carry firewood. "You really don't want me to help?" Jiang Yu couldn't help saying. She could see that there was another reason why he was holding her like this, that he didn't want her to be supported behind him. Xue Yan shook his head. "Jiang Yu, forget it. Respect him." Xue Yan didn't look at Jiang Yu anymore, but just held Jiang Yu's small soft hand, struggling to carry the heavy wood facing him, looking at the burden in front of him, who was not very old, but had already carried a bit on his back. The camel's father, and then, an unreal feeling surged up, making him dazed for a moment. When his vision became clear again, he sighed silently. He is truly reborn. End of this chapter. Farming in the Mountains, Max level Jiaojiao is 3 years old. Chapter 6, Sephora Tree Village. Chapter 6, Locust Tree Village. In his previous life, he followed the wishes of his family, studied hard, strived for great prospects, and made everyone in the family straighten their backs. Then, he was third, and at the age of 12 he became the youngest champion of Daling, and was also placed in the Hanlin Academy. He has been promoted all the way. He has been the Minister of the Household, the Minister of the Household, the Prime Minister, the Emperor, and the Regent. He has held great power and has been loyal and patriotic for almost his entire life, but none of his family members have a good end. Even, he himself did not end well. In order to reassure the Emperor, he never married a wife or had children in his life, and he was only an heir. As a result, the Emperor was still worried. When he led the army to rule the world and personally sent his loyal Emperor to the most noble position of the Lord of the World, the Emperor gave him a glass of poisoned wine. Want him to die? I thought that he really died like this, but he didn't expect to be reborn until he was 7 years old. In his previous life, he was worthy of Daling, 2 emperors, and the people, but the only one who was sorry was his family. In this life, no matter what, he doesn't want to go down that road in his life. I just want to be ordinary and be an ordinary farmer. In this case, at least everyone in the family is safe. There are not so many intrigue. In this case, he naturally stopped reading and came back from town. Is also to lighten the burden on his family. The family has worked so hard in his last life for him to have money to study, and he has worked so hard for 3 more years in this life. His father has been hunched again because of the non-stop work. And although he is only 7 years old now, he is not unable to carry this bundle of firewood, he must carry it home. Xue Dafu looked back again and saw that his youngest son was already holding Jiang Yu, and Jiang Yu was also being held obediently. They were all behind him, not far from him, but the youngest son was still stubbornly carrying that. The small bundle of firewood refused to put it down. His heart was sour, and he couldn't bear to look at it again. When the youngest son was only 4 years old, he was sent to the town to study. How could he have done such heavy and rough work? Jiang Yu was led, looked at Xue Yan, and then looked at Xue Dafu in front, and really felt that it was not easy for the peasant family. The village where Xue Dafu's family is located is called Huaishu Village, which is very close to Bailu Village, where the original owner lived. There is a river between the 2 villages. Huaishu Village, like Bailu Village, is also very poor. It can be said that these 8 villages are very poor. They are all adobe houses with thatched roofs. Most people's houses are very old. Even the adobe walls of many people are cracked, like a dilapidated house. Fortunately, there are trees in front of and behind every house, and vegetables are grown in the yard, adding a lot of greenery, which makes the village full of vitality even if it is poor. At this time, it was already noon, and many people in Huaishu Village were already holding rice bowls and chopsticks, eating lunch at the door and chatting with their neighbors. They are all very loud. Jiang Yu heard it clearly before she got close. It was an ant who saw her following Dafu Xue first, and the ant immediately pointed at her and shouted, "It's Yuebao. It's Yuebao. Yuebao, why are you here? Do you know your uncle's family? They've all been beaten, and they've been beaten miserably. I've lived so many years, and I've never seen anyone beaten more badly than them. Yes, yes, Yuebao. Everyone else gathered around with their rice bowls. These people are adults and they all know Jiang Yu. Shui Yan thought about Jiang Yu's strength just now, and this happened so coincidentally today, so he also looked at Jiang Yu. Doubt Jiang Boss's family was beaten by her. End of this chapter. Farming in the Mountains, Max level Jiaojiao is 3 years old. Chapter 7, Cry More. Chapter 7 I cried even more. Jiang Yu's face was very calm, as if she didn't see him looking at her. Xue Dafu was taken aback, and he didn't have time to put his burden down, so he asked anxiously, how come he was beaten? Well, who beat him? Who knows, the aunt said. Someone asked, but Boss Zhang's family didn't dare to say it at all. They only knew how to cry and didn't know what was going on. Yes, yes, I only know how to cry. I just went to watch the fun. Someone in the crowd said excitedly. Boss Jiang also has today, he deserves it, let him always rely on his own strength, always bully this, bully that. Isn't it? There were young women gloating. Crying with snot all over my face, I am so happy to see it. Boss Jiang also has such a bare time. Don't dare to say, it must be retribution. Someone else gloated. Boss Jiang seems to have said that he will break the relationship with Yuebao. I don't know who, he said this slowly. Immediately everyone looked at Jiang Yu again and asked, Yuebao, is it true? Your uncle really broke your relationship with you? When did he have such a conscience? Why don't we believe it? Before waiting for Jiang Yu's answer, the aunt said at first, don't say we don't believe it, and their village chief doesn't believe it either, thinking that this is impossible for Boss Jiang, but Boss Jiang cried and said that his conscience found out, and then, I cried even harder, ahaha. I'm dying of laughter. The aunt looked like she was going to die of laughter and patted her legs. The bowl of rice in her hand almost fell to the ground because she laughed so hard. The others laughed too. However, this Yuebao has nothing to do with the Jiang family, what should I do in the future? Suddenly, an old grandmother said extremely worried. How can a 3-year-old girl live? Yeah, Yuebao. Everyone's expressions became solemn, and they all looked at Jiang Yu. Before Jiang Yu could speak, Xue Dafu grinned and said with a laugh, how can I live? Why don't I bring Yuebao back? I happen to meet Yuebao. From now on, Yuebao will be part of our family. If our family eats one bite, it won't let her live. Okay, let's all let you go, let's let you go, Guixia called to eat early, and it's too late to go back, she has to talk about it again. No wonder Yuebao is with you. Dafu, you are kind. Everyone stepped aside and praised. It's nothing. Xue Dafu still laughed. He didn't think he was kind at all, he just thought that his conscience would be at ease. Let's go. Seeing that everyone gave way, his father carried the burden and walked forward, and Shui Yan whispered these 2 words to Jiang Yu. Jiang Yu nodded and continued to walk forward with Shui Yan. But after only walking a few steps, Jiang Yu didn't know what to think, and suddenly lowered her voice and whispered to Shui Yan, well, I was the one who fought. Shui Yan's footsteps stopped instantly. It's like the whole person is frozen. Jiang Yu slightly bent the corner of her mouth. Sure enough, even if this person knew that something was wrong with her, he still hoped that she would not be more wrong. Shui Yan is not stupid, he naturally knows that Jiang Yu said this on purpose, and his expression can't help but become a little complicated. He seems to want to say something, but he doesn't say anything. Bar. Even if something was wrong, I picked it up. The sky can't be turned around. Shui Yan so comforted himself in his heart. End of this chapter. Farming in the Mountains, Max level Jiaojiao is 3 years old. Chapter 8, Helpless. Chapter 8 I Can't Help. Jiang Yuekai came to the gate of Shui Yan's house, and before he followed Shui Yan in, Shui Dafu's daughter-in-law, son, and daughter-in-law heard the wind and came out one after another and surrounded her. Shui Dafu's daughter-in-law is Lu Guixia. In addition to Shui Yan, Shui Dafu has 5 sons, Shui Hu, Shui Eru, Shui Sanhu, Shui Sihu, and Shui Wuhu. It shows that Shui Yan was called Shui Yohu at first. It was not until he went to school that the husband changed his name to Shui Yan. The eldest brother Shui Hu is already married, and his daughter-in-law is Li Hehua. Li Hehua has been married for 4 years and has not yet had a son and a half-daughter. The second brother, Shuiru, has also gotten married. The marriage is just 1 year old, and the daughter-in-law is called Yu Hongyan. Yu Hongyan has been pregnant for nearly 5 months now. She is all pregnant, and her belly is slightly bulging. The third brother, Shui Sanhu, is engaged, but not yet married. Because someone in the town built a house, he went to work in the town with some young men in the village. It has been half a month, and he is not at home at this moment. The old and young are orderly, the third brother is not married, the fourth brother and the fifth brother below are naturally not married, and the fourth brother is not at home now. Because of his cleverness, he is the second child in a restaurant in the town. The fifth brother, Shui Wuhu, is only 14 years old, and he is not here now. He said he went to the field early in the morning to weed and has not returned. Yue Bao, this will be your home from now on, and the aunt's family will take good care of you. Lu Guixia said enthusiastically. It's such a poor child, who lost his parents at such a young age. Shui Hu just kept smiling. Yue Bao, come, give the burden to my sister-in-law, and my sister-in-law will bring it to the house for you, okay? Sister-in-law Li Hehua's voice was very soft, as if she was afraid of scaring the baby girl in front of her. She has no children, no matter which child she sees, she is very rare. What's more, the little girl in front of her has big round eyes like black grapes, and there is light in her eyes, and she is as white and tender as a piece of tofu, so she dare not touch it, for fear of touching it. It shattered. Thank you, sister-in-law. Jiang Yu politely thanked her. Shui Dafu's family are all good people, the original owner had heard it from the original owner before. No thanks, no thanks. Li Hehua was overjoyed and said hurriedly. Still excited, eyes full of kindness, Yue Bao, why are you so polite, you are so good. Jiang Yu also knew that her current appearance was very deceptive, but she was not really a child, and she was not well behaved at all, so she looked at Shui Yan who was pushed aside and stood, and wanted Shui Yan to help. Don't let everyone do this to her. Shui Yan pressed his fist to his lips, coughed lowly, and looked elsewhere, but didn't look at her. Tell her with actions that she cannot help. Jiang Yu. Hong Yan, give me a little girl too. Shui Eru, who has always been flamboyant, looked at the pink and jade-carved baby girl in front of him, and leaned on his pregnant daughter-in-law with a very light elbow. Tell me, how did this get raised, how did it grow so well? It can be seen that Shui Eru also rarely died. Yu Hongyan is also very rare, staring straight at Jiang Yu. Yeah, how did you raise it? In this 10-mile-8 village, there is such a female doll that looks like porcelain. Okay, don't surround Yue Bao, be careful to scare Yue Bao. Shui Dafu, who had already put down his burden, waved his big hand. Isn't the meal ready? Let's eat, don't wait for the 5 tigers, so is that kid, he doesn't know how to come back after he has eaten. Speak of Cao Cao, and Cao Cao will arrive. I saw Shui Wuhu, like a monkey, carrying a hoe, and dashed back. End of this chapter. Farming in the Mountains, Max level Jiaojiao is 3 years old. Chapter 9, where did all this go? Chapter 9, where is this all going? Daddy, Shui Wuhu was very excited. I heard that you and Xiaoyan picked up the moon treasure. Is it really true? Without waiting for his father to speak, he saw Jiang Yu who was surrounded by him. He immediately lost the in his hand and rushed towards Jiang Yu. Yue Bao, let brother hug. Hug. You are so cute. Seeing Shui Wuhu like this, Jiang Yu was afraid that she could not help punching others, so she silently moved behind Shui Yan. Shui Yan couldn't stay out of it, so he could only open his arms and helplessly stopped his fifth brother, who was like a monkey. Fifth brother, okay, Yue Bao doesn't like others touching her. Why are you so clear? Shui Wuhu jumped up. He glanced at Jiang Yu who was hiding behind Shui Yan, and then Shui Wuhu shouted again, as if he had discovered the new world, and became excited again. Daddy, Yue Bao and Xiaoyan seem to have a good relationship, so I just met. How long has it been, and they are all grown up so well, and they are not much different in age. why don't you wait for Yue Bao to grow up and be Xiaoyan's daughter-in-law? Jiang Yu was speechless. I think this fifth brother is a big man. You don't even have a daughter-in-law, so you worry about your sixth brother. Xue Dafu gave him a burst of chestnuts. Then, with a smile on his face, he said, but if Yu Bao grows up and wants to, I will naturally agree to their marriage. Jiang Yu. Xue Yan pressed his eyebrows, feeling a little headache. Where is this all going? However, in his last life, he didn't marry a wife, and he didn't have anyone he liked. In this life, if he finds someone he likes, he should marry a wife. We'll talk about it later. Look, you really scared Yue Bao. Hurry up, Yue Bao, go in for dinner with Auntie. Let's ignore this group of horses. Entering the yard with little Jiang Yu. Was outside the yard just now. Because of her height, Jiang Yu could only see the mottled dirt walls and thatched roofs. When she entered the yard, Jiang Yu realized that Xue Dafu's family was indeed the poorest family in Huaishu village. Almost all the money in the family was used for Xue Yan's studies, so naturally he never built a big house. That room is not enough. The only way to get rid of the firewood house is that the firewood is all piled up under the shed on the left side of the yard, and the pile is full. Even the original stove was cleaned up and used as a room to live in. The place where the fire is now cooking is under the thatched hut on the right. At a glance, I can see that there is a large water tank next to the stove. The two sheds are built next to the walls, with thick wood as pillars, which are fairly strong. Fortunately, there are no cracks in the soil walls, and there is little safety hazard. However, the yard was originally very large, but two sheds of this size were built, and a vegetable field was opened in the yard. Vegetables were already planted, and a small piece of greenery resulted in not many open spaces in the yard. Appears very small. Under the shed in the kitchen room, there is also a square table, and now there are 3 dishes on the table. It was not until Jiang Yu was brought into the shed that he could see clearly that the 3 dishes were a large plate of wild vegetables, a plate of dried shredded radish, and a small plate of pickles. There is almost no oil or water. The vegetables at home can be picked and sold in the town for money, so they are generally reluctant to eat them. Usually, if you can dig up wild vegetables, you will eat them. In this season, the most indispensable thing on the mountain is wild vegetables. Xue Dafu, Xue Hu, and Xue Eru came to the table and sat down. Jiang Yu was arranged to sit on a small bench not far from the table. End of this chapter. Farming in the Mountains, Max level Jiaojiao is 3 years old. Chapter 10, Her Parents Taught Me Well. Chapter 10 Her Parents Taught Me Well. There was also a stool that was half a person high in front of her. Obviously, she wanted to put her meal on the stool and let her eat on it. Jiang Yu. There are 2 pots embedded in the stove. A big pot, a small pot. Lu Guixia lifted the lid of the small pot. The rice in the small pot is already a little cold, and it is not very hot. It can be clearly seen that the pot is a pot of rice made of sorghum, brown rice, and a lot of bran. Next to the rice, there is an egg steamed. Second sister-in-law Yu Hongyan hurriedly approached, for fear that others would hear it. She whispered to Lu Guixia, "Mother, I won't eat eggs today, let's eat them for Yue Bao." "Hey!" Lu Guixia responded. Her nose seemed to be a little sour. She took a breath before she turned her face, smiled at Yu Hongyan, and said in a very low voice, "From tomorrow onwards, Mother will steam 2 eggs every day, 1 for you and 1 for Yue Bao." Yu Hongyan smiled and shook her head, her voice still very low. "No, I'm in good health, I'm fine if I don't eat eggs." Li Hehua, who had just set up his chopsticks, walked to the stove, and when she heard this, she immediately refuted in a low voice, "You are a person with a body, how can you not make up for it? Don't talk nonsense." "Yes, your sister-in-law is right." Lu Guixia agreed. "Okay, don't be stubborn, I know you think an egg can be sold in the town for a penny, but when it's spent, it still has to be spent. My mother-in-law said so, and Yu Hongyan couldn't say anything else. They thought they were so quiet that no one could hear them, but Jiang Yu had good ears and could hear them all. When Li Hehua came over with a small bowl of multi-grain rice, a small wooden spoon, and the egg on the stool in front of her to eat, Jiang Yu did not rush to eat it, but picked up the egg and got up. Walked to Yu Hongyan's side. Because he was only 3.5 years old, he could only look up to see Yu Hongyan. She handed over the egg. Second sister-in-law, you are a person with a body, you eat it. Oh, Yu Hongyan looked down, and when she saw Jiang Yu, who was looking up at her white and tender face and a small hand reaching out to her, she was instantly stunned and called out. Yue Bao, you are too sensible, but the second sister-in-law doesn't eat it. The second sister-in-law eats eggs every day. Good, you eat it, it's for you. Jiang Yu shook her head. Hands are still outstretched. If Yu Hongyan didn't take the egg, she would have kept it like this. Stubborn can. This. Yu Hongyan was embarrassed. Look at this, look at that, don't know if I should take over. Everyone at the table saw it. Xue Dafu sighed heavily and said, Hongyan, it's up to you to eat. Yue Bao is so sensible. Her parents taught her well. Damn, Xue Dafu said, looked at Lu Guixia, don't save so much in the future. Xiaoyan has already decided that she will no longer go to the town to study, I agree. Xue Yan stopped going to the school. In fact, the family had a good discussion together yesterday. Except for Xue Dafu, who was somewhat unwilling and did not express his position, everyone else respected Xue Yan's choice after thinking about it. Now, seeing that Xue Dafu also agreed, Lu Guixia and the others were naturally happy for Xue Yan. Hey! Lu Guixia responded immediately. That's great, Xiaoyan, Dad also agreed. Xue Wuhu happily hugged his sixth brother's thin body and turned around. Xue Yan, who was turned around before he could react. Xue Hu and the others also had smiles on their faces. Because their father didn't express his position, the atmosphere at home from yesterday to today was actually quite depressing. Now it's alright, and there is nothing unhappy about the family. P.S. Babies, this new article has been updated. You guys pay attention, the profile has been changed. If you haven't read the new profile, you can take a look again. The new book needs your support. Ask for a ticket. Ask for a ticket. End of this chapter.